Hello, whoever's there. How you doing? Just sitting here doing some work on triplets in between some other work. Trying to check out. Some of my polyrhythms are a little bit off, so I'm working on some of that stuff. Whoever's there, are you a player? Do you play guitar or learning? Um, so yeah, all I'm doing at the moment is I'm just playing triplets continuously over a standard. I'm trying to group them in four. This has been going on for a while. So I'm just working on it. And 502. Hello. Sorry, everyone. We've got some cakes baking in the fridge. In the fridge? No, in the oven. Just taking a look at. Is that yeah? So whoever's got a couple of people on now, is anyone a player? Play guitar. My name's Andrew Weir. I'm over in Las Vegas. I'm a full time kind of hired gun guitarist over here, and I do these streams um, a few times a week on Twitch and YouTube, and I'm up here practicing. Hey Ben, how you doing? I'm up here practicing anyway every day, so I just kind of get online, and if people are interested in what it's kind of like for the particular job that I'm in, I'm kind of happy to not offer advice, but maybe some experiences that I've had. But aside from that, I just kind of sit here and do my work. But yeah, Ben, are you a player, mate? Do you play guitar? Or are you just here to watch Australians play guitar online? Oh, we got another viewer on there. This guitar is a 1986 American Vintage Reissue 57 reissue. So these are the ones that were kind of made in the custom shop for a little bit. But yeah, I picked it up years ago. Oh, well, welcome aboard, Ben. Good, so you'll just believe anything I say then. And this great guitar. The neck on this is one of my favorite guitars. The only guitar that I've found I like the neck of as much is a Rory Gallagher custom shop thing that I've been borrowing for a little bit. I've replaced some of the electronics. I put a treble bleed in it because I like it. There's a 5-way super switch, which means I can do some wacky things with the tone knobs. And then these are Mark Foley SM62 pickups, which are based on Scott McKeon's Strat. Scott McKeon is an amazing blues player from the UK who's been Tom Jones's guitarist for a long time. We got some gig offers rolling in. Oh, good. Well, I'm just chilling too. This is just my usual day, so I might keep practicing. I'm just getting, but yeah, maybe for guys like you or other people that you might know, I'm kind of finding that online there's a bit of, well, there's always been misinformation online, right? But especially in this, at least in the particular part of the industry that I'm in, which is kind of a full-time working guy. I get hired by artists to go and tour with them. I teach a bit in town. I play a lot around the strip and kind of corporate things here, and you know, whoever calls. So I just got a call for September, and you know, answer that back. But for me, yeah, full time for me. So, which for me in this town means 5 to 10 gigs a week, depending on what's going on. And that might be stuff like, you know, somebody's just called me for a duo gig in September. And so I make sure I put this stuff in my calendar straight away. Otherwise I start missing things. So somebody's offered me, you know, people just call and ask me to play. If I'm available and the money's right, I'll go and do it. Yeah, and this is another thing that I hope I can, you know, maybe you know people that are in the industry or thinking about getting into it and all that kind of stuff. I think that there's a bit of a misunderstanding about being a musician in the music industry, especially if you don't live in a music city, that you need to random stuff. You know, I'm babbling a little bit, but you need to be able to shred. You need to look great. You need to have a great online presence. You need to have great networks and all that kind of stuff. And some of that is somewhat true, and the other parts aren't. But I think that most of that information is based on a particular part of the industry, which is kind of becoming the star, or becoming an autonomous product that you're trying to sell. For me, my job and what I love doing is working in a bunch of different situations, which there'll either be a lot of different situations or just a few, depending on what's going on. Um, but for me, there's things that are really important that don't get talked about on YouTube, Instagram, and stuff like that. And just to give you an idea, I work full time as a musician, and that's all I do. I've started to teach a little bit now because I haven't done it for about 10 or 15 years, and I wanted to get back into it. So I do offer private lessons for people as well. But I support my family from just having the guitar in my hands and playing, which I really enjoy. Um, for that particular job, well, a big one. Um, Sorry, I'm making sure I just reply to this gig offer. Um, what was I about to say? Oh, now T-Mobile's being a pain. Um, for me, if I didn't even have an Instagram or YouTube page or any of that kind of stuff, it's almost that stuff is almost irrelevant to my job. If you look up my kind of guitar page, Andrew Weir Guitar on Instagram, I treat that more like a resume, like a CV. It's got a lot of footage of me playing, maybe some live gigs and some of my bands and things. But whoever's calling me for a gig, as long as I can play okay, I'm probably going to get hired. The the thing that's important is the relationships, being good to hang out with. Now, I know that's not news to anyone really, um, but there is, yeah, I just find it interesting that nobody talks about that. There seems to be this huge, big focus on making it and making it big and all that kind of stuff, but there are all these little sections of the industry that um, exist and offer a viable career, um, that maybe aren't talked about a lot. And in the climate today, we don't know how that's going to look in the next 5 to 10 years. So um, we try to diversify a little bit. For me, that means, for example, and I don't mean necessarily diversifying into a side hustle or whatever. For me, that means um, stuff like in Las Vegas, I don't belong to one band. I have about between 10 and 20 different people that will call me for stuff. And that means that of those 10 bands or artists, if one's a bit quiet for some of the year, the other ones cover up that. And if, it kind of moves in these ebbs and flows, but the more people I have that book me, it kind of evens out the year. Yep, so we'll book that. Sorry, just booking a gig. And I can tell you that this gig, which is going to put um, some money in the pocket and a good amount of money, it's a good one. That came from somebody who's maybe heard me play twice, but we've known each other for a while, and she knows I'm a good guy. She knows like he'll probably play guitar great, but I know that we can hang out and get the job done, and it won't be uncomfortable for everyone, and everyone will have a good time. That's what makes the phone ring. It is assumed that you can play. Obviously, you need to play. Let me just write this down. Being able to play well is kind of the entry fee. After that, playing great will get you on one gig. Being consistently good, and being good to hang out with will give you the 100 gigs after that. And there we go. Gig is booked. bit of money in the bank, and it'll be a fun one. And I believe from just a coincidence that at that venue my brother-in-law will be our sound engineer. um, I mean, yeah. So I'm hoping with this kind of stuff online that I'm hoping to maybe just open the curtains a little bit on this part of the industry so that people can think about it as a career or as part of a career. Yeah, I absolutely know that although I practice stuff like I was practicing now, like what is this thing called? Love at 150 BPM, quarter note triplets grouped in fours. Helps me play better, but it's not, nobody is caring if I can play that or shred the latest Nuno Betancourt solo or whatever. Also, I can talk way too much, so you can tell me to shut up. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of doing there. So, oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm not trying to do this online stuff in a hurry. I'm just gonna let it do a slow burn and eventually find a group of people that are interested in hearing and learning about this stuff. I've been in sorry, not LA, in Las Vegas. I've been here for almost like 6.5 years now. But because of how I did it when I started, I was kind of working full time quite quickly after I got here. Without, which was kind of turning up to a new country, a new city, cold, and tricks is the wrong word, but using some kind of specific ways to get into the community, which I hope I can share those with people too, because I think what I see, and I have to be careful here, this stuff is not about me giving advice. I don't really like doing that, because all of this stuff in this industry is so subtle and nuanced that what worked perfectly for me would maybe not be appropriate for someone else. So I kind of think of all this stuff as more like, I'm just going to tell you what I did, and if you can take something away from that, hopefully that helps. It's really hard to use the phone and talk at the same time. Yeah, so if you know anyone who's into doing that, is thinking about doing that kind of stuff, then maybe shoot them over here to have it. I'm trying to get a regular schedule going here on YouTube, but it's a little tricky because my work is kind of like we just saw there. I'll get a call, it'll be at a certain time, and I have to go and do it. So it's a little, I'm trying to be on here twice a week. But yeah, I see a lot of things which I feel bad about for some of the younger guys that we see coming in, who, not through their own fault, have started to believe that the way to make this work is to be super overconfident, show off your chops, pretend like you're in the game before you're not. And there's tiny little things that can really make or break an entry into this part of the industry. So I try to share my experiences about that. And none of that. And that's the other thing about this stuff that I'm doing here. Although I do offer online lessons, and we might do some masterclasses and stuff in the future when we got a whole bunch of people in here. I'm not trying to sell anything. Hey, CJ's back. How you doing, mate? I'm not trying to sell anything here. Just trying to use it as a bit of a forum to output my experience a little, and people can ask questions or tell me what I'm doing wrong, because that's useful as well. That's been my my mantra over here, is I always want to. Well, see, that's the thing. Yeah, CJ, it's good. Yeah, Ben's on here. He just started playing guitar a few days ago. He's on here. Yeah, Ben. This is where I think there's a little bit of misinformation as well, and I have to be careful here because the entire industry is hard. It's. Oh, you found a guitar. Awesome, CJ. Oh, we got two new guitarists in here. That's great. Um, I think the industry is hard, and I'm afraid to use that word, the industry, because it is so vast and multifaceted, and everything that we tend to, as humans, focus on one bit of it. The industry is hard in as much as what I do, it's like running a small business. So, I mean, open a sandwich shop, it'd be just as hard, you know. But I think that a lot of people think it's hard to get into the industry and make a bit of a living, um, because they see it in a particular way. If you if you're a young person that wants to get into it and you can play already, you go to a city where this stuff happens. For me, that's Vegas rather than the city in Australia that I was living in. If you're easy to work with, you can play the material, and you're, you know, a responsible adult. There's no reason that you can't start working in places. Um, and as I said before, the entry fee is being able to play well. You have to make sure that you can play. So that's why, still at 47 years of age, I'm still up here practicing 2 to 6 hours a day to make sure that my product and my business is working properly. And then it's just a matter of these other little things, which, when people ask about them, we can talk about them a bit more. Oh, cool. Yeah. Right. What are you looking at getting, CJ? What guitar is it? What do those emojis mean? I'm too old to know what emojis mean. I assume. But yeah, who's the seller? Who are you trying to get? Like, what guitar are you trying to get off them? Sorry. Oh, I would say Rage Against the Machine because I like them better than Linkin Park. But that's just me. You should play whatever the hell you want to play that day. And stick it on and learn it and play it and be happy. There's that's a an interesting, useful thing to maybe keep in the back of your head if you're starting to play like both of you guys are. There's stuff that you need to know how to do. You need to be able to play in time. You need to be able to be in tune and play the right notes. And it is super helpful if you learn a bunch of theory, because that is a great communication um, tool. But in terms of stuff past that, follow your nose a bit. If you really are interested and like something, work on it. Um, and focus on those little things, because that's how you kind of build yourself. It's um, there's hard work to be done as well. Learn all your scales, get your ear working, practice your rhythms, all that kind of thing. But after that foundational stuff is there, yeah. If you get to a point where you're like, I only want to learn Curtis Mayfield stuff for the rest of my life, then do that if that makes you happy. No, I've never had a kill switch. Sometimes if I'm using like a Gibson style guitar, um, I'll turn one of the pickups and then I'll turn one of the pickups off and then I can use that as a kill switch. That's what we used to do, and that's what Tom used to do before we all had kill switches. You just hit the pickup selector. But no, and again for what I do, it's not really applicable too much. I'm not out there doing too much really heavy stuff that uses that. Um, Sometimes I'll fake it out with, yeah, like I said, the pickup selector, or on a Gibson style guitar, or even like a volume pedal or a tuner, like a mute switch on the ground. But I don't want more stuff drilled into these guitars, bits and pieces. This one's beat up enough already. What guitar did you get, Ben? I should apologise just in case this drops out at all. T-Mobile's been going through a bit of hell in our area recently. But yeah, what kind of guitar? What? Let's do a guitar roll call. Ben, what kind of guitar you got? And then CJ, what kind of guitar are you looking at buying? 'Cause that's the other thing guitarists like is gear. We're addicted to it, right? Well, now I'm gonna have to Google your guitar, mate. What do we got? DST-95. What is that? Electric guitar. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, like one of those little Donna things. I bet that looks bloody awesome. Their finishes look really cool. Kinda, I found a purple one. I kind of like that kind of deal, right? But a different color. Great, man. You're like a little super strat kind of thing. DST-95. Is that with the humbucker in the back? Cool, man. Yeah, that's rocking. I do like I think some people get upset that there's a few of these kind of cheaper guitars rolling around, but I think it's great that, I don't know how old you are, Ben, but I think it's great for beginners or younger guys that you can get a guitar that's playable. Now, when I was growing up, student guitars like Squires and stuff, and some of the Ibanez things were just bloody horrible. So it was really hard to play, and made it hard to get motivated as a kid. But yeah, that stuff. Yeah, right. If you're getting something like that too, CJ, that's great, because I think it's worthwhile. Again, if I try to keep myself on topic, knowing how to look after your instrument is an important part of my job too. So getting one of those guitars that has a few like different pickup things, different electronic settings, a tremolo that you kind of have to look after and know how it works. That's really good education for if one day you decide to be a working guy. Yeah, the amps can be a problem. um, but the good news is now, especially if you're starting out or you're just kind of messing around with things, the plugins and stuff that are available online at like Neural and stuff like that are bloody great. Yeah, Tom, that Balls on Parade thing, it was doing the like scratching sound, right? So sometimes I do that as a joke on stage if we're playing a kind of hip hoppy thing. But yeah, I can't do it as good as him, but I don't know if you can hear that. My hand doesn't move fast enough. But it kind of sounds like a record scratch, right? And all that is I've just turned the gain up, a bit of distortion, and then just rubbing those bottom strings. It's gonna be kind of fun. Sometimes when we do, a lot of the bands in town play that. That's Sublime, right? What I got. There's a kind of scratched thing in the middle of it. So sometimes if I take a solo, I'll do that. But not as good as Tom. And I think he was also doing that with the kill switch as well. Kind of on and off. Maybe. But yeah, Ben, if you look up like little things like if you've got a sound card and stuff, like any of the neural plugins, and I'm sure there's a million out there now. But yeah, amps are important. But sometimes even with those, maybe those cheap little amps, if you get like a little multi-effects thing, like a little Boss multi-effects, or even the little Line 6 stuff, you can then keep the amp clean and just kind of put your effects and stuff in front, which is kind of what I still do with all my amps anyway. It's just another way of doing it. Yeah, what kind of music are you into, Ben? I can't speak today either. I need some more coffee. Yeah, I'm sure I learned that years ago. I can't remember what key it's in, but like. I remember that. Oh, cool. Yeah, man, that's funny. Before EDM was a word. Or actually, when EDM meant, or we had IDM as well, years ago. I toured a lot doing my own electronic music for a few years around Asia and Europe, and but the guitar was always a part of that as well. I'd kind of write for that on the guitar and use samples and things, and sometimes take it out on stage. It's a good combination. Yeah, back then I was really into guys like Fortet and Manitoba, Caribou, and Nathan Fake and James Holden and stuff, and there was always a bit of an organic thing to all their stuff. So the guitar was still an important part of that. Yeah, it was good fun, man. We played a bunch in Japan and Korea, and where else did we go? Like, played in London a few times, Slovenia, the Netherlands, and around Australia a bit too, like Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. Where else did we go? Some other funny places. They all turned into a bit of a blur after a while. Guerrilla Radio. Okay, well, stop. You keep asking me questions that I have to learn stuff for, CJ. What do we got? Let me pull up Spotify here and see if I can. Guerrilla Radio. It's just been such a long time. I remember learning these songs when me and my brother were teenagers. He played drums, and we'd sit in his room with the drum kit learning Rage Against the Machine tunes, but they don't pop into my head straight away. So I'm just opening up Spotify and we'll see what he did. But yeah, he did some great stuff, man. Like coming up with different sounds and ways to play the guitar. Still never seen him live though. Let's have a look. I'm just putting it on my headphones. Yeah, this laptop is getting... No, don't say sorry. It's great. It's good to remind me of all this stuff. it's good to force me to do that. A lot of times I'll kind of go back and I just remind myself of stuff from the past. Jeez, my computer's chugging today. Let's see what we can get out of it. Yeah, like often I'll go back to guys that I used to listen to. Okay, I'm listening. Cool. So just from first listening to do that stuff, there's two guitars. So one, da, da, one in that ear doing that. Yeah, one guitar just doing normal in the left ear. It's near the end, and there's another different sound. Yeah, and then at the start at least, there's one guitar doing them. There's another one in the other ear that is doing. I think he's doing kind of power chords of it, but he's using the kill switch or maybe like a real crazy timed tremolo that'll turn it on and off. Now, let's hear what's at the end then. Let's see if we can work that out. CJ, when you said it's near the end of, what do you mean there? And there's a bit in there about 2 minutes where he's doing the same riff, but with like a really slow flanger or phaser going on behind it, which is a cool sound. Such great riffs and like simple. Yeah, where is that weird noise? That's what I mean. Is it that impression of a phaser, or is it something else? If you can tell me where it is in what time it is in the track, I can listen to it and find it, and then we can work it out. But yeah, never apologize. It's good practice for me too, because anytime that you're working out music or transcribing stuff, it's useful. Yeah. Just check on the CD player and let me know where it is, and then I should be able to tell you. So I'm practicing different rhythms over this tune, and then I wonder what we'll get back from CJ. And Ben, are you getting lessons of someone? I'm not trying to sell myself. I think if you're getting if you're starting out, you should get lessons with someone in the same room. But are you getting lessons with someone, or do you plan to? If you're still there, it's hard to actually see who's hanging out. Yeah, if I was you, Ben, and take it or leave it, um, find a guy or a girl in the city that you live in, and go and be in the room with someone who can play and get lessons off them, and whether you do it every week or just every now and then or whatever. There's certain stuff, especially when you're starting. I mean, obviously, lots of people have worked it out on their own, but it can really help just to have someone to give you little tips and stuff. And maybe it's just someone like a lot of my students, even the beginners that come to my house. They'll come every now and then, and I'll just say, if you're confused about anything, just send me a text and we'll try and work it out. Because there's certain things on YouTube and Instagram and stuff that maybe can lead you down the wrong direction a little bit, or there's some tiny little adjustment that can maybe be made by somebody who can see it there in the room. That's all. Just grab your local guy and what a 50, $60 a lesson or whatever, and go and get some stuff, and then you do have a real human being to ask questions of as you go along, rather than just like Googling something and trying to find the answer. Okay, it's at 2:28, so let me dig this up. Alright. I'll roll it from 2:20. That's a harmonica, right, CJ? Yeah, Ben. It's and also, it might take a while. You got to find someone that you want to hang out with and do the stuff with. That CJ, that's either he's actually recorded like a harmonica on top, but I'm intrigued now. Or it's a guitar synth, or it's a bunch of crazy pedals that are making it sound like a harmonica. Right. Yeah, so it's a combination of a bunch of stuff. It's got a wah pedal on there, a whammy pedal turned up, and then he's doing what I was talking about with the pickup selector, turning it on and off. Yeah, right. And there's two guitars there. There's another one using a talk box on the other side. Yeah, I'll be able to check that. I'm gonna. He does the same kind of thing, right? Yeah, and he had like all those kind of things. I don't have my Gibson stuff handy. Um, but yeah, sometimes like Vernon Reid used to do a lot of this kind of stuff with Living Color back in the 90s as well, with just a combination of a whole bunch of pedals, and you eventually get a sound, and it's like, oh shit, that's cool. Put it on the record. But yeah, it's a cool way of getting new sounds. Um, yeah, what a great guy. He has Tom has a couple of courses online. I reckon once you get started CJ, maybe go and check out some of his instructional videos because there's some nice. I think he actually did one for masterclass.com where he talks about stuff. But there's a bunch of interviews and things from him out there explaining how he did a bunch of this stuff and why he did it. Oh, cool. But yeah, it's funny. I'm not called on too much to do that kind of stuff, so it's always interesting for me too to find out what those guys were doing or what they weren't doing. A lot of the time, it's a lot simpler than we think it is. As a random side thought here, for what we were talking about before with being a hired guy, most of what I work on at home, I have a little bit of technique practice stuff that I do to keep all the fingers moving, but a lot of what I practice at home is rhythm and timing. Because that's what people want, really, when you get to be out there getting hired and working. If you can play every shred lick in the book and you can play super fast and you got lovely pants and great hair, but you can't play in time, nobody wants you. So keeping this stuff tight is super useful and important. Hey man, yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna shoot off in about 10 minutes as well. I gotta go and do some other stuff. But yeah, if you want to, yeah, maybe get some notifications on my page if you follow and all that, blah blah blah. Then, as I said, this won't be exactly regular. I think pretty much every Tuesday and Thursday I'll be here. But if you do that follow and ring the bell stuff, it'll send you an email or whatever when I'm on. Because yeah, I'd love to hear about how you go moving through this stuff, and maybe there's a way that we can all, maybe hear some of your music and stuff as well. I have a community page on my YouTube as well, so you guys we can swap and trade things back and forward. I'm usually pretty good at getting to it, but sometimes I forget it's there. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, Ben. Hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday. Or on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as well. Yeah, have a good day, mate. Well, CJ, let me see if I can find this thing. So you're talking about the live version of Battle of Mexico City. Let me see if I can pull it up. Does he do a cool sound in that tune as well? looks like we got some other people sneakily watching there as well. Let me type this stuff in. It is very hot in Las Vegas at the moment, so my computer's having a bit of a hard day. Oh, okay, so is the Battle of Mexico City the whole live concert, CJ? Yeah, like I won't have time to watch it now. But um, yeah, that live stuff. I always like watching live things and listening to live stuff of musicians that I like. It's a much more interesting thing to me to see how they actually do it, rather than just hearing the record. Oh, cool. Let me see. Maybe I searched it wrong. Battle of Mexico City live. Go. Watching now. Sorry, which song am I looking for, CJ? Battle of Mexico City, right? Oh, it's only showing. Is there a song called The Battle of Mexico City? I'm getting lost. So I thought it was Battle of Los Angeles was the song. But I'm often wrong. But I got a couple of minutes here, so yeah, see if you. Oh, okay. Oh, Ben, if you find me on Twitch, it's just this. Let me type it. It's just Andrew Weird GTR. I'm just typing it here. And I also have the Instagram is at Andrew Weir Guitar. And also on Insta, I have the other page that I started. Sorry, it's too much information. Yeah, I've started up this other Instagram to talk about this kind of stuff too. Thanks, mate. I'll see you soon. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, all the live performances. So which tune in those live performances are you talking about? Do you mean Guerrilla Radio as well? So, yeah, he does a lot of stuff with the Switch. Let's see if this has okay, I've got the live concert up here with the chapters in it. So if you can tell me what song you're talking about, I'll be able to see it. But I'm sure it's, yeah, it'll be that the little kill switch thing, or the toggle. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna do that right now, and then I'll have to go and bake a cake. Guerrilla Radio Live. Okay, cool. Here we go. Let's see what we get. I think I've got it. One day I'll stop the And do you know what time in that video, CJ? I'll try to quickly find it, because then I've got a student coming in a minute. But right at the top. Yeah, I'm listening to it now. I'm going to take a guess that you're talking about the solo thing again, so I'm going to jump over to it. Yeah. Great. Okay, so I'll tell you exactly what that is. So that's that thing where he's using the wah pedal and a whammy pedal at the same time. I'll quickly show you. I don't have the whammy and stuff set up, but on a guitar like his one or like this one, it's a little bit different, bit of a jazz box, but it has controls for both pickups. So what I can do is, if we can hear all this, turn her up a little. His toggle switch is here. Mine's back there. And that switches between the two pickups, right? But if I turn one of them off, it becomes a kill switch. Obviously, it doesn't sound exactly the same because I don't have all this stuff set up. But if you can usually do this with your hand, but I'm being lazy today. What if I turn the overdrive up? It's kind of like that, and I noticed just when I started doing silly stuff that I don't know how to do, a whole bunch of other people started watching. So, hello everyone else. But yeah, and then on the ground he has a wah pedal and a whammy pedal going on. Hey John, how you doing, man? Oh man, I'm just about to get offline. Damn it. Hey man, you'll have to come back and I'm gonna try to be doing this. I'm doing this about twice a week, John. But you should come in. I'm just kind of talking to people about what it's like to be a working guy and moving up through bands and moving countries and stuff. And for everyone else that's in here, John Redmond, who's in the chat, is a great bass player from Perth, Western Australia, that we played in bands, or one band, when we were, geez, I was like 20? A long time ago. But maybe you can come in. I'll be back here on Tuesday, I reckon. About the same time. Oh, no, because I've got a bloody rehearsal. But yeah, John, you should get in here and have a chat with everyone as well. Because you've got some experience too. And I'll run out of stuff. I tell you what, next time I'm going to come on, I'll just quickly shoot you a text on Messenger. And then if you want to jump in and we can hang out and you can correct me on all the things I'm doing wrong. But yeah, I'll be doing it next week. But right now I have to go and help bake a cake before my student turns up. So, man, yeah, please, like, I'm going to shoot you a message next time I get on. And maybe we can have a bit of a two-way chat for anyone else that's listening. Awesome. That's perfect. And we'll get guitar and bass insights. All right, everyone, thanks so much for hanging out. I will be back. If anyone who's watching now wants to watch again, I'm just getting this started talking about being a working guitarist. Directly related to that is it's a little hard for me to have a real regular schedule. So if you want to jump on and just follow me and ring the bell, that'll give you a notice next time I'm up. Usually it's going to be Tuesday and Thursday every week. Next week might be at a bit of a weird time, but we'll see what happens. If not, next Thursday I'll be back. Probably around this time. It just kind of depends on what's happening. Yeah, if you can't, yeah, come back and we'll have a. See you, mate. All right, I'm out of here, guys, and I'll hopefully see you all next week. Have a great weekend.